Curl took down. Looks nice. Thank you. Sometimes I get tired of putting it back and stuff.
It's always when I know when I need to cut mine is when I keep pulling it back.
I'm not found it, okay?
Where's my package at?
Get some white glasses. How you doing, Mayor?
Okay, now.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, there it is.
I hope so. I'm praying.
How you doing? Yeah, I had to get it rebroken. It was killing, it was killing all the lines.
Out of this.
City Attorney, are you ready? Acting City Clerk? City Manager?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Commissioner Everett?
Yes.
Commissioner Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Thank you. Call this meeting of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee workshop to order. May we please stand by for the invocation given by Vice Mayor Mervin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, oh God, we come before you again, God, to say thank you. Father God, as we come before you, oh God, to conduct the city business, oh God, we ask you, oh Father God, to be with us, to help us to make the right decision, oh God, for the people of the city of Pahokee. God, we ask you to bless everyone from the mayor to the city staff down to each commissioner, oh God, that we do what is right and that's within our hearts, oh God, to benefit this city. Father God, we ask you to bless our constituents, oh Father God, in the name of Jesus. Oh God, give us understanding and guidance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bath,
Present.
Commissioner Bolden,
Present.
Commissioner Everett,
Present.
Commissioner Hill,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Present.
City Manager,
Here.
Interim City Attorney,
Here.
Acting City Clerk present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thanks to the commission, thanks to staff, and thanks to each of the citizens tonight for being here to participate in our workshop of Tuesday, June the 25th, 2019. The purpose of the workshop is to discuss the June 25th, 2019 agenda. I would just like to remind the audience that the workshop is similar to a city commission meeting. It's not a formal meeting where we will be voting, but we will be deliberating and discussing our agenda item. And as always, if you would contain your talking and just help us get through our agenda would be very helpful. At this time, I would turn this portion over to our city manager for him to kind of lead us in the agenda discussion.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission, residents, visitors, thanks for coming out tonight. Mayor, we have a very short agenda. We have one proclamation on our agenda for tonight, and that's a proclamation proclaiming National HIV Testing Day, June 27, 2019. And that is our agenda. And of course, any updates on our marina lease will be provided as well for the commission.
At this time, City Commission, are there any questions pertaining to the agenda that's been presented tonight to us?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I do have a few questions of our city manager so that it can possibly be included under old business. One being our recreational gym, given an update to the general public concerning the progress with that project. If there's any update with regard to Barfield Highway, if there's any communication from the state with regards to when that project is going to proceed. Also, there were concerns or questions about the splash pad. I do know from last meeting that we were operating it manually. Just wanted to know if the part did arrive and when it will be installed on the splash pad. Also, I know I had a request coming from the senior citizens concerning the senior citizens prom. I think it will be hosted in Belglade and all the other cities. I believe Belglade and South Bay has contributed to that effort, and I do know that we have senior citizens from our city that will be partaking, and it was a request that was emailed to me. I think it was a request of $400 that they were asking each city to contribute to the senior citizens prom.
Yeah, if you like, I could get all that out the way right now, if you want.
Right.
Sure.
You can-
The senior ball, that's going to be taken care of by the city of Pahokee. I've already had conversations with some of the organizers.
Okay.
Splash pad part finally came in from Canada. It hasn't been installed yet. The company's coming out tomorrow for that. For now, it's being manually operated. Sunday, there was a hiccup with the schedule, which is why someone wasn't out there Sunday. I got a call about that on Sunday. So it is operating just fine. It just has to be turned on manually and turned off manually. Gymnasium, I provided that update in the biweekly report last week. The county came out with a gymnasium floor specialist or firm that installs gymnasium floors, and they did an assessment that the floor doesn't have to be completely replaced. Only about 500 square foot has to be cut out and removed because of water damage. They're very confident that they'll be able to revive and revise the current floor and add those new, a new piece to it and sand it down and make it look, like new again. So that's was the final piece, the final walkthrough they did about a week ago, no, 2 weeks ago. And so now they'll go back and they'll give the final cost for that to the county, and they'll provide us a schedule to get started. Have they given me that schedule yet? No, but from the email I received on 6/20, they were going to give me a week until that schedule is released to me. And I'm assuming by the end of this week, they'll give me some type of construction schedule.
For gym repair,
For the gymnasium, right. Barfield Highway, the engineers are wrapping up their design phase. As I had previously stated, Barfield is a significant reconstruction project. It's not resurfacing that you typically see in the city of Pahokee, where we just do an overlay. They have to completely remove some of the foundation and rebuild it. And so that's quite an extensive engineering design for the state and for FDOT overall. I still don't have a start date. If I had to guess, if you add in the bid time release and getting responses back, I want to, I don't want to put a date, but I'll probably put a month on it of either, late September, early October before they put a shovel in the ground. But again, that's a very fluid project. There's a lot of moving parts. Even the county's involved with it now because you have some county right-of-way water issues that they want resolved along with the project that they've added to it. And that's just fine because we want to fix everything all at once. And so that's been part, not of the delay, or just that's been part of the additions to this project. And I know it's been long awaited, but we're sort of, at the mercy of these engineers and grounds folks getting out there and wrapping up, all of the geotech parts that's required for this project. So it's a heavy lift, and we realize it's taking quite some time to get to a point where we can have a start date. But that's sort of where we're at today. We had a brief, meeting with the engineer about a week ago, and they're in constant, communication with FDOT about the final plans and designs. And we're in that waiting mode right now until they give us the go-ahead to put a bid out. Okay. And I'm hoping I can get that, soon here, but I just can't put a date on it at this time. Mm-hmm. But we are, very diligently, following this project and ensuring that things are moving forward. I think that was it. Barfield Gymnasium, splash pad, and the senior ball. We'll be generating once we get an invoice from, I guess, Belgrade. I think that's the host of this event. We'll be able to generate a response and a check for the senior ball. And I indicated that to the plan already, that we needed some type of invoice.
Are there any additional questions to the city manager pertaining to agenda items or others concerns?
I have one. I thought we were going to get financials in the package.
Actually, we put the financials again in your boxes, and we also bought them. It should be in your package. Actually, I added something to your package because you had asked me for something earlier, Commissioner Boland, and I had it printed out today because we was doing some final additions. It's something that the commission had already gotten on the Surtites project, but it's been updated.
I think too, city manager, in the
financials in my
future.
No, I have it right here.
Okay.
I had to add something to it that you requested that wasn't in
Okay.
there before. So I have it, I'm sorry.
In the future too, could you please give everyone a copy, even if an individual commission asks for some type of information so that.
No, this was something you already received that she didn't get.
I understand.
Right,
But you say there was some little updates in it too.
right. But you got those updates. She didn't get them. She didn't get them at all.
Okay, I just think it's just a good practice, even if it's a waste of a tree, that if you give a commissioner some information, so it just be fair across the table.
Sure,
Okay.
understood. If that's all, Mayor, we will provide an update on the marina leases. I got a response back from the state. They have to do some appraisal of certain parts of the properties out here. One's the campground, the other, of course, is the acreage out on Rim Canal Road. Once the appraiser is completed his work and return that information back to the state, they'll move forward with ensuring that it's on the agenda at the end of July. Actually, it'd be the August, I think, 1st or 2nd meeting that it'll be on it. But they wanted some appraisals done first. That's something that was really not discussed early on. And then they threw in appraisal for also the campground as well at the last minute. And so we had to ensure that an appraisal was available. We didn't select the appraiser. That's done by the state. They selected the appraisal. They put out the bid for the appraiser to respond. And we just had to ensure that there was money in escrow provided to the state for that payment for that appraiser. So that was something that was not in our control, but it's something that the state is requesting before they go forward with the full package to the state. So outside of that, we're done with the package, and we expect it to be moving to the governor and cabinet here in the next 30 days.
Okay, thank you. In addition, a question from the city commissioners. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, Coach, I thought maybe it just mean the lease supposed to be going up, was it July 1st? Or
No,
am I,
no, they added the appraisal of the properties,
So that
and they
pushed
went
it to
back and they
August.
put a bid out for that appraiser for the state. And so once those bids came in, that pushed everyone back to after July, unfortunately. Again, we don't know why they want appraisal of the campground, but they're requesting it, so we're gonna give it to them.
So you mean it won't go before the governor?
Till August,
Until
right.
August?
First week of August, right. And that's okay, because
So,
when I
but
spoke
I'm
with
just trying to say, but it's not on our part that is moving to August from.
No, it's not. It's not on our part. We're just fine. And because we'll still be in a contractual mode with repairs, I've spoken with our potential investors. They are just fine with it, so there's no agitation there at all. They're just fine. They understand it. So we're fine across, all communication lines. Everyone understands.
Do we know when they were doing the
Appraisal? Not quite sure. They probably over the next 2 weeks they'll contact me and let me know they're coming into the city of Pahokee. I believe those folks are coming out of Tallahassee, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll set up a day and time to let us know when they're coming, and I'm the contact person for it.
So, just a question, when, because I know this process been going, was out of our control. So, but when they do, can we also be copied on that there? Just to give us to keep us abreast of where we at, because I know it's not in our control, but every month, it's just getting pushed back.
Well, definitely, that's not a problem. Yeah, when they wrap up their work of appraising and send that information back to Division of State Lands, I'll let you know when it occurs. Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. In addition to questions, at this time, if any commission have any concerns they want to bring out prior to our regular meeting, this is a good opportunity. We have approximately 7 minutes before our regular commission meeting. So just give you an opportunity. Hearing none, at this time I will adjourn our workshop and we will convene our regular commission meeting at 6:30. Thank you. Attorney, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
City Clerk,
Yes, sir.
City Manager,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin.
Yes.
Thank you. I call this City Commission of the City of Pahokee, June the 25th, 2019, to order at 6:30 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation given by Deacon Bobby Coven, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, tonight we come to you, and we thank you for our city. We thank you for your love for this city. God, I thank you for the citizens that are here, Lord, in interest to what's going on. And I just pray that you'll give all of our leaders wisdom. Many times we don't know what to say or what to pray, but God, we need your wisdom. If there's anything that should be done that hasn't been done, I pray, God, that you'll help it to be done. Blessed this meeting, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Barr,
Present.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Everett,
Here.
Commissioner Hill,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Present.
City Manager,
Here.
Interim City Attorney,
Here.
Acting City Clerk present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff. And thank each of you all for being here tonight to participate in our regular scheduled City Commission meeting of Tuesday, June the 25th, 2019. I would ask that each of you all be respectful of the deliberation of the City Commission and keep your talking to a very minimum. If your telephone ring or if you have to communicate with each other, if you could quietly step out of the chamber and do so, that it wouldn't interfere with the conducting of our city business, it would be very appreciated. We have a very short agenda, and we should be out of here no later than 7:30, hopefully. Shouldn't be an hour if we can get everything done in an orderly manner. The next item on the agenda is the addition, deletions, and approval of the agenda items. City Manager, at this time, do we have any addition to the agenda?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. City Commissioners, do we have any requested addition to the agenda or deletions? Thank you. I would like to add one addition on the presentation. It would be the Florida Community Health Center. They're going to provide an update. They recently had a wonderful, awesome event at Commissioner Park this past Saturday. So they're going to provide us with an update on that, as well as some of the services that their organization provide. I also invited Beautiful Gates Counselor Resource Center to provide a presentation. As most of y'all should be aware, we're hosting a health screening, particularly with breast cancer on July the 20th. There are flyers in the back. If you haven't had an opportunity to pick them up, please pick some of these flyers up and share this information with the general public. Again, are there any additional items other than the presentation that the mayor just spoke of? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda items. along with the one add-on of the presentation by the Florida Community Health Center.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer a motion that we accept the agenda as it has been presented to us with the addition of our presentation coming from Florida Community Health Center.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of the agenda as presented with the add-on addition of the Community Health Center update. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Marvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. The agenda items passes by unanimous vote. Now we'll move to citizen comments. It must have a card completed, must be an agenda item only. City Clerk, at this time, do we have any comment card pertaining to agenda items only?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll move to our public service announcement. You also must have a public service comment card completed. City Clerk, at this time, do we have any public service comment card completed?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll move to the approval of the minutes. We have for us the June 11, 2019 Commissioner Workshop minutes and the June 11, 2019 regular scheduled Commission meeting minutes.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the minutes for June 11th Commission Workshop meetings and June 11th regular scheduled Commission meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Everett for the approval of the June 11, 2019 City Commission Workshop minutes, as well as the June 11, 2019 regular scheduled Commission meeting minutes. Call for question. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. The minutes of the workshop of June 11, 2019, as well as the regular scheduled Commission meeting of June 11, 2019, passes by unanimous vote. We have no consent agenda items. We have no ordinance. We have no resolutions. We have no public hearings. We do have one proclamation proclaiming National HIV Testing Day on June 27, 2019. City Attorney, could you read that into the record for us?
Mayor Commission, this is a proclamation proclaiming National HIV Testing Day on June 27, 2019. Whereas in the United States, over 1 million people are living with HIV, and every 13 minutes a new infection occurs, resulting in almost 40,000 annual new HIV infections. And whereas in Florida, more than 116,900 people are living with HIV, and more than 13 new infections occur daily, and 1 in 8 HIV infected individuals don't know that they are infected. And whereas in Palm Beach County, more than 8,400 people, or 1 in 170 residents, are living with HIV. And whereas significant new and highly advanced treatments deliver hope and enhance the quality of life for those who are affected. These considerable advancements can only help individuals if they know their HIV status and are linked into life-saving medical care. And whereas each year on June 27th, we observe National HIV Testing Day to raise awareness about the importance of HIV testing and early diagnosis of HIV and linkage to medical care, and to inspire the nation to achieve its shared vision of zero new HIV infections, zero discrimination, and zero AIDS-related deaths. And whereas the 90-90-90 ambitious goal plan to help and the AIDS epidemic has set its targets for 2020 that 90% of all PLWH will know their HIV status, 90% of all people with diagnosed HIV will receive sustained ART, or ART, and 90% of all people receiving ART will have viral suppression. And whereas this year marks the 25th annual observance of the National HIV Testing Day on June 27th, and the Palm Beach County HIV Community Prevention Partnership and the Palm Beach County HIV Care Council, through its partners, are working together to provide HIV testing throughout Palm Beach County during the week surrounding National HIV Testing Day, June 23rd through the 29th, 2019. Now therefore, the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida hereby proclaims National HIV Testing Day on June the 27th, 2019, and urge all residents of the City of Pahokee to take the HIV test to know your status and to take part in other activities and observances designed to increase awareness and understanding of HIV, done this 25th day of June, 2019.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Commissioners, having had the proclamation properly read into our record, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer a motion that we accept the proclamation proclaiming National HIV Testing Day on June 27, 2019.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of proclamation proclaiming National HIV Testing Day on June 27, 2019. Call for questions.
Mayor, I thought someone would be here to receive this.
I
because
was going to ask, was
yeah,
anybody here?
because they said they were going to be here.
Okay.
They're coming later, not sure.
Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. The proclamation proclaiming National HIV Testing Day on June 27, 2019 passes by unanimous vote. Are there anyone here from the AIDS organization to accept the proclamation? Thank you. They was invited and they may end up coming a little later. We want to present this proclamation to them. If not, we would personally hand deliver it to them. Okay, now we're moving to the mayor's report.
Presentations, Mayor.
Presentation.
Board of Community Health Center.
I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll have a presentation by the Florida Community Health Center. They hosted an event on Saturday. It was an outstanding event. Great participation from a lot of the community partners and agencies. They fed the entire community, and we're so pleased they put on that event. So we have an update.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I don't want to speak too loud, nor do I want to take up too much of your time. I'm sure none of you like the sound of my voice more than I do, so I'll keep it from my house. But I do want to give you an update, and I thank you, Mayor, for inviting us to come out today, and all the commissioners and the Vice Mayor. For me, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I grew up in Palm Beach County. I was born and raised. I went to Cardinal Newman High School, not too far from here. And I have my kids now growing up in Palm Beach County, so I have a love for not only South Florida, but for Palm Beach County in particular. A little bit about myself. I grew up there. I went to medical school in the Dominican Republic. I became a family physician. I've been a physician for 15 years now. And then I started thinking there's got to be something more, a better way to reach more people. Providing direct patient care was my childhood dream, but I realized I can only touch the people that were in front of me. And then how could I branch out and reach even more people? And I figured if I could influence the people providing care, then I could reach even more patients and change more lives. So I went back and I got my physician executive MBA degree through Auburn University. And then I was blessed with the opportunity to become the chief medical officer for Florida Community Health Centers. Florida Community Health Centers is a non-for-profit private organization that provides health care in 6 counties. We have 12 offices, only 1 in Palm Beach County, which is here in Pahokee. Our other centers are in Moore Haven and Clewiston and Okeechobee, Indiantown, Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce. So we're kind of scattered. We have a very broad footprint, but I am the acting medical director of the Pahokee Center, and Miss La Sofia King, a lifelong resident of Pahokee, is our office manager, and she runs the show over there. Even when I'm there, she runs the show. So Miss King is the boss. But I was out there visiting a couple months ago, and we were talking about ways that we could give back to the community. And we wanted to find ways to do something nice for the community where it didn't cost anybody anything. And we decided to put on a barbecue for the community. And we had gracious support of the commission. We were allowed to use Commissioner's Park, which is a beautiful facility. The kids thoroughly enjoyed the splash park. I encourage you guys to use that as much as possible because it felt like it was 193 degrees that day, and that splash park was essential in keeping people cool down and from developing heat stroke. So I'll get into the picnic a little bit more, but I want to tell you a little bit more about our organization. So we do provide care to about 50,000 patients a year, which translates to about 160,000 visits a year throughout all of our centers. Pahokee has been our little pearl in Palm Beach County for how long now, Sophie? 11 years. And for 11 years, we've been providing preventative and primary care services, adult and pediatric care, out of our Pahokee Center. We are very pleased and proud to say that we now have a dedicated infectious disease specialist that is working out of our Pahokee Center, which kind of parlays nicely off of the proclamation to recognize National AIDS Testing Day, HIV Testing Day. I want to just let everybody know that we do have the resources there now in the form of an infectious disease specialist, Dr. Eugene Dauphine, who has an abundance of experience and many years practicing as an infectious disease provider. We can certainly do the testing, the treatments for not only HIV, but any infectious disease. And we're not just talking about hepatitis, HIV, complicated urinary tract infections, skin infections, anything people have, we can certainly take care of that. We want to not only just be a resource for healthcare in the community, we want to be a good community partner. So if there's anything that anybody could think of, we were just out at the high school a little bit ago because we know that they're looking for their student athletes to get physicals before the season starts. We're going to be more than happy to go out to the school. I believe next week we're going to be able to do all the physicals for the students as long as everything lines up and works out. We also will be willing to go out to the games and make sure that, you know, anything that happens during the game can be at least triaged on the field and try to facilitate some of that after game healthcare if any of the kids need it or anybody in the community needs it. We have an open door policy. We serve everybody regardless of their ability to pay. So if you come into our, walk through our doors and don't have any insurance and no money, you're going to be seen. We have health benefit coordinators that'll help sign you up to insurance plans if it's possible. And our health benefit coordinators have about a 97% success rate getting people signed up to some kind of health care or resource to help them get help in one way or another. We're just very proud to be here in Pahokee. We want nothing more than to be successful here in Pahokee. We're a non-for-profit, so we don't make money to line our pockets. The only revenue we generate, we put back into the organization and back into the communities we serve, which is why it was important for us to do this picnic this weekend. And we had a couple hundred people out there, adults, children, games, raffles for free, just handing out raffle tickets and giving the raffle items out. We handed out, I don't know, we did about 120 burgers, 120 hot dogs, barbecue chicken for 200 people. And there was only a couple hundred people out there, so I think people were just hungry because the food went. But I thought it was a beautiful event. I think the people that were out there enjoyed it despite the 198-degree heat. The mayor was generous enough to go out there and say hi and take some pictures with Dr. Lewis, who is our fearless leader. If you guys ever get a chance to meet Dr. Lewis, you can't help but be impressed by her. She is a woman who's lived her life of servitude. She's just a woman of God. She does nothing but help others. And when she's not our leader, she's feeding the homeless on the weekends. She is preaching on the weekends. And you can't help but think with somebody like that steering your ship, that no matter what storm you go through, you're going to come out the other side okay. So you can rest assured that it's in good hands. And not just because of me, because I wouldn't expect you guys to feel too comfortable if it was just me, but Dr. Lewis has got our back. And Sophie's our leader anyway. So I just wanted to come out here and thank you guys first and foremost for letting us have the picnic out there. We want to do more stuff like that. We want to partner up with community entities also, not just in healthcare, but in any way we can. If you guys want, please feel free to reach out to us, because we want nothing more to be a valid partner and an active partner in the community. So thank you so much.
Again, thank you and the Florida Community Health Center. I hope that event ended up being an annual event. It was a great event for the community, and we just appreciate the service that you provide for the community. Also very important what you mentioned, that no one is turned away for health care, and that's very important. I think in this community as well as others, we're having folks die early because of lack of health care. With my injury that I underwent, if I didn't have insurance, I probably would have went back to bed and just laid down and had some major repercussions from that if I didn't have health care. So what you do is very, very important, and I hope that in the future, some kind of way that we can partner with you all to attract, at least at a minimum, an urgent health center here in Pahokee. We have an emergency room that's 10 miles away, but sometimes people sit at home and they're just not going to go to Belgrade for some reason, or just not going to go to a hospital. But if they have a doctor's office open 24 hours a day, that they can walk in and get some services, that would be so wonderful. So I don't know what we can do as a city to try to attract that type of business, but that would be a goal of mine if we can ever get that.
Well, I'm certainly up for the conversation. And I just found out recently, because the whole federally qualified health center world is new to me. I came from a private for-profit entity to come to the non-for-profit FQHC, federally qualified health center world. And I just found out recently that we can theoretically do urgent care. And I thought we could only provide primary and preventative care, but we can do urgent care under a different type of structure. So I'd like to see what that looks like. And like I said, anything we can do to help Pahokee out, or really any of the communities we serve. Like I said, that's over 50,000 patients, and we just want to do what we can to provide even more services to more people. So we're up for the conversation, and we're up for the challenge. So.
Can you give the times that you open, Dr. Mayor?
Sophie can.
Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And that's why I bring her. You see? But, and one more quick not so fun fact about the HIV epidemic that's going on. South Florida is one of the few places in the country, and I believe it's one of 3 places in the country where the numbers are going up as opposed to going down. So just when you thought we had a grip on the HIV epidemic, we're still doing a lot better than we did 20, 30, 40 years ago, but there's been some balls dropped along the way in certain communities, and there's a desperate need to get back on track in South Florida. So I'm very happy to hear you guys taking that initiative and approving the proclamation, and we're going to do our part on our side as well. So I won't take up any more time. Oh, the address, yes. Sophie, do you have?
170 South Rockville Highway, Suite 101.
We'll write it down. You got
Where
it?
it is, I just wasn't sure if it was that building, now I know where it is.
Okay, good. It's next to the old hospital. So, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much. Now we're moving to the mayor's report. Looking forward to the community senior prom. As the city manager indicated early in our commission workshop, the city commission will be providing funding for that. I think each of the 3 cities are attributing $400. So we will be doing that also. There will be approximately 75 seniors from Pahokee that will be attending. They will be crowning in each city a king and queen of the prom, which is very nice. This, I believe, is the 2nd or 3rd year that this event is being hosted, and it is a community-wide event. So we're looking forward to participating. I would encourage, I think most of the commission has already accepted an invitation to attend, so Pahokee will be well represented. Mrs. Hernandez, Josie, you want to add anything to that report? Ms. Hernandez, who's the coordinator for the Pahokee area this year?
Wow, I'm excited.
Yeah, we all are too.
I'm excited. I couldn't make it up to the workshop, so I'm excited to hear that news. I just sent everybody an email and told them that Pahokee is present, and Pahokee will be there with a thank you, each and every one of you, for the donation of the $400. And all of you are cordially invited. It's at 6 o'clock at Lakeshore Middle School, and it's formal, so dress elegant. It's a prom, the red carpet. We have a comedian. We have DJ. It's the whole 9 yards. So I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know who's more excited, me or the seniors. But I know it's going to be a great event. I know some of the ones that are here in the audience are nominees. I don't want to give it up. Y'all be all excited that day, and it's going to be a surprise. And thank you all again, and I'll be seeing y'all soon. Commissioner Everett and Ms. Bolden, and Ms. Marvin and Bab. I need to tell y'all something what happened. Bab, can I share what happened? God really looks after us. I walk every day. And y'all hear the news saying it's over 100 and you can feel the index over 105. Well, I've always walked the same area, same amount of time, at same hours. And I don't know what happened. I passed out right in front of Mayor Babb's house. And I thank God that he was there outside, and he picked me up with his, was it your brother that was there with you?
Yeah.
Yes, and his brother, and I don't know what I would have done if they weren't there. And it was a lifesaver. This happened, I don't even remember the day, because he told me, you need to go get checked. So I just wanted to share that experience, that besides them being out here, they're human beings, and they have feelings for one another. And I'm just very thankful for each and every one of them, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also believe that Pahokee this year have the largest, expecting to have the largest attendance with 75, so that's a big plus, and we thank Ms. Hernandez for really helping to bring that about. Next, I just want to mention the free health education on-site monogram screening that will be held here in the city of Pahokee at the old cafeteria on July the 20th at 10 a.m. This is so important. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. We have so many of our residents who have experienced cancer. Even our vice mayor lost her sister to cancer. We got a lot of surviving cancer patients. So this can save lives. So even if you feel you don't need the screening, please, I just urge you to take one of these flyers and pass this information on to someone who may be able to benefit from these free services. And if they're diagnosed with cancer, their services and their follow-up and their medication and their treatment will be paid for. You have to register, you have to meet certain eligibility guidelines, but it's open to the public. There will be refreshment there. There will be a health education workshop conducted there to help people change some of their lifestyle practice to help reduce the possibility of contracting cancer. So it's the flyer here. As mayor, I'm part of the host of this. The city of Pahokee and the commission is part of the host. We're asking the community to come out and make this a great event. One thing about a low attendance, especially in the Glaze area, when people bring all of this technology here and we don't take part of it and advantage of it, then the next time around, you know, they may say that your attendance was so low, we have to go to a larger city the way we can have the biggest impact. We know we need these type of services here, so I'm asking you to help us get the word out so that our resident will be able to take advantage of this. We got flyers here for the 4th of July. We always have a great community fireworks. People from all over the county come out to Pahokee. Although there are other areas that does fireworks, it's just something about Lake Okeechobee, that the scenery there. This year, as last year, there will be some festivities from 6 to 10, so you're going to have an opportunity. I think food trucks and other activities will be there. So we want to make sure that everyone is welcome and come out to this big event. And again, I thank the Florida Community Health Center for putting on the barbecue. Unfortunately, with my condition, I haven't been able to eat meat or any solid food in over a month and a half. I did have a surgery 2 weeks ago. I'm expected to have a wired mouth for another 4 weeks. I'm steadily losing weight, y'all. I'm just drifting away, but I'm here, and I thank your prayers and your cards and your get well wishes. That concludes the mayor's report. Just want to remind Commissioner Everett that he will be named in the next 2 businesses of the month. Thank you. Now we'll move to the city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. Commission residents, thanks for coming out tonight for our commission meeting. Mayor, as a follow-up from the workshop, we will be addressing assisting with the senior event, the ball. I've been in communication with Ms. Hernandez, and so we will be supporting that event this year. I think there's some additional questions about some transportation that we'll be having as well. Some of the seniors may need some transportation, so we'll be looking at that as well. As far as the splash pad is concerned, as indicated, It is operable right now. The remote system has not been installed. The company will be out tomorrow to address that. But in the interim, we'll have a staff actually out there manually turning it on and off in the evenings when it's time to end the splash pad. So I know there were some questions about that. In addition to that, I reached out to the company that did the first Meltillis sign, and I've asked them to give me some type of rendering of what a smaller sign would look like, but it's in town. So that they're working on that, and I'll come back with an update once they provide me that update. And I forgot to mention, and I usually do it around graduation, but every year I give a scholarship, a Dr. Martin Luther King scholarship on my own funds to a graduating senior. And this year's winner was Rodney Morris. Rodney Morris is a graduating senior from Pahokee High School. He's been accepted to Valdosta State University. His major is going to be astronomy, science. I don't know what that means, but it's astronomy, science, technician, something like that. And he plans to go into the Air Force. He wants to get commissioned first into the Air Force, stay in the Air Force for 10 years, and then work in the, I guess, the new abbreviated industry that NASA abandoned over there on north here. So hopefully, he'll be a part of that. Subsequently, Bowen is coming to that area over the next year or so, and that's exciting news for that part of the Treasure Coast in that area of Orlando. But Ronnie Morris was a graduating senior here at Pahokee High School. He's going to Valdosta State. He won the $1,200 scholarship, and so he gets part of the money when he gets enrolled, and then he gets the remaining half in January in the second semester, because I have to check the grades to make sure he's matriculating the way he's supposed to. So very excited about that, because as you know, I actually got my master's degree from Valdosta State University in Georgia, so I was kind of excited to see that he was the awardee of that. So and I try to do that every year to give back to this community, and specifically to our young folk who need some encouragement leaving high school, going to the next chapter of their life. So Ronnie Morris, I'm going to try to get him here before he goes off to college in August and recognize him again, because I did give him a large size check. We took a picture of that in City Hall, but I failed to bring him before this commission and do some additional proper recognition for him. As previously mentioned, we've had a conversation with Division of State Lands about the leases moving forward. I spoke with hopefully our future operators. They are aware that there's one final step that the state wants to complete before they put the package before the governor and cabinet, and they're fine with that. They understand what the prerequisite is, and not the delay, but just an added addition to the package. And so I spoke with one of the operators today. We had lunch together, and he understood that very well. He's also been in contact Division of State Lands to get some additional clarity on that. So hopefully that appraisal will happen over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we can get that into the package and onto the governor and cabinet for a final decision on that. And so in saying that, they will also be submitting the deed restriction, the release of the deed restriction on the acreage on Rim Canal Road. The last commission meeting, we got a presentation by an organization, a firm that wants to also be here in the city of Pahokee. They followed that up with some additional information that was provided. I did provide that to our city attorney for review. They're looking for a continued conversation here with the city of Pahokee in some type of direction. But of course, again, there has to be some legal sufficiency done with that organization. I just got some additional information today on the parent company as well. But this company is hoping to be here in the city of Pahokee. I'm sure all of us have read a lot about the changing of the industry in hemp and marijuana. And so we're continuing to do our due diligence to discern, what's best for the city of Pahokee. We're open for business. That's something that we've always said here in the city of Pahokee, and we need to look at every opportunity that moves us forward economically, be it jobs, certainly workforce housing, something that's drastically needed here in the city of Pahokee. We need to ensure that we have the right audience in front of us that supports, the vision of this commission. And so from that presentation, there was some additional follow-up with me directly from this company. They did provide an additional document for review. I provided that to the city attorney. But this is a discussion that sort of rests on your shoulders of directions of where you want to go for the future for the city of Pahokee. Me and the city attorney are just here to guide us in the right direction, but you give us the directions of where we need to be placed. And I know the city attorney is doing some research as well, and so I don't want to get ahead of myself in that regard. But I just wanted to make that emphasis of what was received in my office is an additional agreement or a tendered draft of what they're looking to do here in the city of Pahokee. So
Are you still
That-
on that same subject?
that was actually into my report. I just wanted to end with that.
And I have 2 or 3 follow-up questions.
Okay.
Should I go before you?
Yeah, I'm done, Mayor.
Well, it's in reference to city manager's report. Good to know that with regards to the scholarship that you personally financed for the student, is it very possible in the very near future? I know kids prepare to go to school different times than when we were starting fall, maybe early registration or what have you. Is it possible for city staff to contact that person, the recipient, to see if he can be recognized officially at one of our meetings
Yes,
prior to going?
Yes,
to
I'm gonna
school?
try to get him before he leaves for school. I think he leaves the second week of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, my other question is in regards to the appraisal. I know you made mention of it during our workshop. Was the appraisal both for Marina and the 34 acres of land, give or take?
Correct.
And that was
It was
something.
It was originally just for the 34 acres. We knew we needed it for that. But then, out of a conversation in Tallahassee, they added the campground.
Okay.
Only, not the marina itself or the northern side, upland side, just the campground only.
So the appraisal was originally for the 34 acres, and then you're saying the marina was added?
No, I knew there had to be appraisal for the 34 acres.
Okay.
And in some fluid conversation, the campground came a part of the appraisal as well, and so they just lumped them together. We wasn't aware they were adding a campground.
Okay.
Right.
My other question, in your report and presentation, you mentioned, and I was a part of the conversation last commission meeting regarding the company coming in with CV oil and what have you. I don't remember all the complete gist of that individual's conversation. But is that particular company interested in the 34 acres of land as well to do business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to say this, and this is just Commissioner Everett speaking, and I'm just speaking as Commissioner Everett, as a reminder that this commission, and prior to Commissioner Boland coming aboard, stated very firmly that our position was to go after workforce housing. I think I want to correct that misnomer because it got out there that we were looking for project housing. We are very much interested in workforce housing, and that was the position of the commission at the time of the presentation. I know it might be up for discussion for some others, I don't know. But I just wanted to bring that reminder that after Mr. Morrison and his group presented their plan concerning workforce housing, the commission unanimously agreed that that was the direction that we wanted to take at that time. And I do want to follow up by saying I think workforce housing, be it that 34 acres and the other parcel of land, I think along State Market Road is ideal and would position our city to be that city and community of choice. I think our focus definitely needs to be on housing, workforce housing. I just wanted to bring that out.
Any additional questions for the city manager from commission? Okay. I have one
Mr. Mayor,
question.
before you move forward, I wanted to just update you all. You had asked for an update at the last meeting, once we got more information about the hemp and hemp legislation and what's going on with that. And so I wanted to report because I've done quite a bit of research on it. There was a workshop that was conducted, and the state did 3 of them throughout the state. One of them was done in Broward County, at Broward College just recently. And so a number of lobbyists attended, several growers attended, people from the state attended to give an update on what's going on. So right now, there's a bill that had been passed that has not been signed by the governor yet, but is expected to be signed, dealing with the hemp legislation. And some of the issues that were raised by the group that came to do the presentation the other week. And so in addition to that, the manager had mentioned that he had passed on an agreement. The agreement was to enter into a contract with them. And I mentioned to the manager, I think that's a little bit premature at this time, because not only are the rules that are required by the legislation, which the governor hasn't signed, they're just being formulated right now. And one of those rules would require that the land be used for, like if it's dedicated for instance, if it has housing in it as a requirement, that couldn't be used because it would have to be dedicated as agricultural use. Like it would have to be zoned as an agricultural use. And so that could be a hiccup in, in something like that, that if it were passed. Now, I did speak with the attorney who drafted the legislation and who's been going throughout the state and trying to figure out what feedback is coming back from the public and the growers in particular, and they're pushing back a lot on that. And so what the attorney told me just today was that they're looking at maybe industrial and agricultural, adding those 2 as zoning, which would maybe give more of an opportunity for the growers to, grow in other areas. And what they're concerned about is people actually having, growing in their backyard. They don't want people out growing in their backyard. And so they want to give some protections that will allow there to be somewhat of a safe space for residents and to be protected from hemp growing in their backyard. So there are a lot of things that still have to be done at the state level. The city is not by any means, because we don't even own the land, so that's one barrier to signing any kind of an agreement with land that we don't own and we have not been dedicated yet, and rules that have not been promulgated yet. So there are like all kinds of issues, and I know the manager is doing what he's supposed to be doing in terms of looking for economic opportunities for the city, but I think that the city would be served better to wait, first of all, until the rules are in place, which should be done by August the 1st. And once the property has been deeded, and then to see what within those rules would be the state's requirement for where you can grow, and maybe that would be something that could be perhaps negotiated with them in terms of how they even, deed the property over. We don't know, but these are things that we can talk about and I know that you all talked about possibly having a workshop at the last meeting, and so that may be, something that you can do, and we may be able to even get someone from the state to come in to speak with you if you were that interested. But we did do quite a bit of research on the issue. We pulled down the legislation, the statute that hasn't been approved yet by the governor, but we think it will. We pulled down the rules that have been shopped throughout the state in the 3 different, they just actually finished the workshops just yesterday, so that's how fresh this all is. And things are still, there's a lot of moving parts still. So I just, maybe put some caution out there in the wind that it's not ripe yet, but, and on top of that, you may consider, in addition to this grower, because one of the issues that's coming up is, the fact that, land, they're looking at a lot of different places, and it's not so the fact that there's so many acres that will be deeded over to the city, it puts the city in a, hopefully a great position to be able to talk to, maybe not just this grower, but maybe other growers to see how you get a better deal if that's possible. Maybe you end up with this grower if that's what the city wanted to do, and or that's what was allowed. But there's so many ifs and buts before you get to that point. And so I just, throw it out there just for different things for you all to think about and perhaps hash out during your workshop. So that's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney.
And Mayor, Commission, the City Attorney is correct. Our job is to go out and continue researching and seeking economic development. But of course, housing is a priority here in the city of Pahokee as well. And so it's a balancing act of what we're trying to do here in the city. We want to capture every opportunity here economically in the city of Pahokee. And, the city attorney has done some extensive research that we have to, consider moving forward. I don't know what's going to happen on July 1st with this legislation that they want to pass. There's a lot of things involved in it that a lot of prerequisites as far as the use of the land, the type of facilities, et cetera. I just want to ensure that we capture our economic development opportunities that are out there, as well as, again, keep housing as a priority here for the city of Pahokee.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I just want to say this again, and I thank City Manager Mr. Williamson for reiterating the focus. I don't think we need to appear to be schizophrenic. We unanimously agreed to have that land dedicated for housing, and I think that should be our focus because that's what we committed to doing. And also, I think a good idea would be to open up a forum to see if our citizens want that in our community. Is that worth? Do they feel like it's worth entertaining? But I know me personally, I think what would position us in a more productive direction would be going after workforce housing, trying to increase our tax base.
And Mayor, not to prolong, and maybe hopefully there's a conversation where there's a combination of both here in the city of Pahokee. Again, I just want to ensure that we are able to capture housing, certainly, and opportunities for economic development. I think it does get to a point where we certainly want to hear from all of our citizens and residents. There's a percentage of folks out there that really support this industry. There are folks here in Pahokee that actually are benefiting from the use of this type of product. So I'm not saying it's swayed either way, but I agree with Commissioner Everett of a timely, and a strategic approach to this conversation. I just, I know that, we have a lot of things in front of us that we have to consider, and we need to make the best choices for the city of Pahokee, economically and housing wise. And again, it's a difficult balancing act for us. But I'd rather have these two problems than no problems at all. That someone wants to come to the city of Pahokee for economic development and have nothing. And I certainly don't want someone else to benefit from this venture as well. And a lot of people are going to benefit. We don't know the negatives and the positives of what's really going to happen, as the city attorney mentioned. There's a lot to be considered. But I want Pahokee to be, on the forefront of benefiting economically in both regards for housing and economic development.
Thank you.
I have a comment, if I could.
Okay.
I was at that seminar that they held in Broward County, and that was put on by Nikki Freed, who's the head of agriculture for the state of Florida. And she said this is going to be a $20 to $30 billion industry for Florida. This is not going to be some little, small thing. If we can participate in something that's going to be that large, I don't think that we should just say, okay, maybe next week or 2 weeks or a month from now, we should do something about it. I think we really need to get on board and look at how do we get to be a part of this, and if it needs to be. I have a question about what did they send us? This company, y'all said that they sent us something, so what did they send us?
Mr. Mayor? Yeah, well, it's basically an agreement giving you until the end of the month to sign with them for land that you don't own. And so that's what they sent you.
Okay, is there a way for us to do something, whether it involves that land or other land, or if you're saying we don't own this land right now, which I thought we did, but apparently we don't, is there some way for them to come in here, or for some way for us to let them know that we're interested? We don't want them to just go on down the road to the next city?
Now, if you don't, the information that I got about ownership is from your city manager. So if you own it, I don't have any, I don't know. So I'm assuming that he's right and he knows whether or not the land is owned by the city. But there's nothing you can do about land that you don't own. And so until the land would be deeded to you or something else, I'm not sure what, advice to give you on land that you don't own. Now, in terms of your question about what other land may be out there, I don't know. That's a question for the manager.
So there's no way for us to give them a letter of support or anything that says we're interested?
I'm sure it should be.
Yeah, I think we should be.
That would be a question for the commission, whether you all want to give a letter of support. But I'm telling you, legally, you can't sign, a document with them for land that you don't own. I mean, it's not going to be legal. It's not legal. You can't do that. Right. So, that would be my legal answer. But if you wanted to do a letter of support or something
I think we should be able to do a letter of support, because I
something
strongly
that
would
says
support
don't go down the road, stay here, we're
just
interested.
Right, unless we can go back to the table in reference to that. But I have another question in reference to this particular. But go ahead, while we're talking about that, let's just stay on that. But I understand, yeah.
Ask a question, Commissioner Hill.
No, I was just wondering, is this the same land that with Mr. Morrison? Is this the same land, Mr. Morrison, that you all were speaking in reference when you all did the presentation? So, I think, I would just strongly support, at this point, just get back with Mr. Morrison with the workforce housing. And I'm sure it's if it's any way possible, we can give a letter of interest to this company and let them know that we want to have some further discussions, because we are interested, because I know that it will bring many jobs here. I know that from fact. I knew this years ago. Yes.
Maybe we'll have either the city manager or the city attorney send a letter to them stating that
we don't have to discuss the properties at this moment. We don't have to discuss the properties at this moment.
With the condition that will be pending legislative outcome and the whether or not we're able to secure the land to be able to even negotiate with an entity on it. I mean, you're not closing the door totally on anyone.
Right.
But you're letting them say there are some conditions that before we're able to proceed, this would have to occur.
Okay, yes, I think that would be appropriate at this time, that Commissioner Boland has recommended, and that it certainly would keep them, focused here on the city of Pahokee as the decision for the deed restriction release moves through the process here in the next 30 days. But it would certainly give them some more relief and support that we are very interested. No commitment, but it allows us to move forward in a way that we can capture, hopefully, some economic development for the city of Pahokee. Again, I'm not, dissolving the myth that we do need housing as well, but I think a letter would be appropriate.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the other thing you all may want to be concerned about, or at least think about, just to put it on the table, is how do you know if you're getting the best deal from this? How do you know that there were tons of people at that meeting, as you know, tons of growers at that meeting. So how do you know? How do you get how even if you did something short term just to see whether the people, I don't know what growers are out there in the universe, but I'm just saying, wouldn't you want to compare and have some type of a benchmark?
I think the letter allows
Support
us.
is not
Okay.
saying we're signing a
Okay,
dotted
all right,
line.
because I thought you were saying
I
with
wasn't
this
gonna commit.
grower.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Just
so-
a letter
yeah.
of interest. We just want
No,
to let
I
them
mean,
know
there-
that we
there-
are still,
Yeah, there were some things
we
in
just have
the
questions and interested.
in the additional document I received that were sort of very interesting percentage-wise, that I don't want to speak on yet. But no, I agree with the city attorney that, this
I
letter's
mean,
not,
we can always
commitment.
negotiate later, right?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
After you know what the
Even if it's
benchmark
not a
is.
negotiation,
Right.
we may not even want to
Right.
go with this particular company. However,
But it shows-
we can find, we just show that we're interested, and we may have other companies that
I-
may come in. But my thing
Yeah.
is, my concern is with Mr. Morrison, when they came
Ma'am.
in with the resolution, with the group that came in with Mr. Morrison's, I would pray and ask that we don't mix this up in any type of confusion and let this stay where we had our workforce housing planning. Even if it won't work out, at least let's continue on that path, and then also have the letter of interest for the hemp company, and let's just see where we can go with that. But just don't exit out just because another company is coming in with our workforce housing. That's
From-
my biggest concern.
From what I heard at the seminar, or whatever you call it, there was, and the gentleman spoke about it that night, is that they can make something that's like concrete, so it may end up being something that would benefit you in your house building. So I don't know if there's a way to work something out with that as well. But, I mean, the research that I did and what they spoke about that day, there's definitely a possibility of making something to build houses with. And that should be first and foremost in our minds.
So, Mayor, Commissioner, so this should be a letter of interest, not a letter of intent, correct?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
We're just not closing the
Right.
door. It's still an open interest in this
And
endeavor,
into some
but
more.
we don't know to what extent.
We just
And I just want to make sure that the manager understands it to be not a procurement vehicle, but just a letter. It's just saying, subject to regulations of, the state passage of the law, the state's passage of regulations regarding the law, the zoning provisions that might be handed down from the state. So, you have some things, some hurdles to get through before you get to that point. In other words, you don't want to send something that gives them some belief that they relied on you all sending a letter,
Exactly.
and then now you're somehow obligated to them because you sent a letter, and that
That's
turns
not
into
what we
some,
want.
Even though,
it turns
even
into
a
a
letter of
legal
intent
issue.
doesn't really tie you
Well,
to anything,
but-
it gives you an out.
But a
right?
letter of intent, and that's why I'm trying to be clear that it's not a procurement anything. It's not we intend for you to do this. It's just, we may be interested in you, something flowery.
That's
Thank
it.
you. We're not closing the door or something like that. But to be,
Well, then
but
maybe-
what I'm trying to suggest is that you don't put yourself into a position through this letter, and I want to say it publicly, that's why I'm taking the extra time to do it, that it sounds like that entity has now relied on this letter, and they're saying later, we didn't go to Belgrade or wherever else to, because we relied on it, and now we're suing you because you owe us something. So whatever you put out there, it needs to be, very loose and clear that the city is making no commitment.
So can we have the city attorney and city?
The
manager
language that's
to-
drafted out, we'll get together
Together,
before
okay.
that letter goes out and make sure it's in legal sufficiency or based on what she's speaking from.
Okay,
And then-
also,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
We're both so polite.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, maybe if we go ahead and schedule a workshop, and then that way they can come to the workshop, or anybody who's interested, we could put something out. I talked to 2 or 3 people down there that day, and, people can come and talk to us, and then we can all get a lot of information. So that way we can all make a better decision.
Even on
The
the letter.
question will be, how does that information get out to people who, other than the current,
Well, it doesn't matter,
person.
even
Yeah,
with the
that's true,
workshop, I
that's
mean,
true.
we can still discuss it, and we can, and the public can come to workshop, right? Because it's like you said, the public needs to be a part of this,
I agree.
yeah.
I have a,
That is my concern. My concern is to hear from the public. Because essentially, they will benefit from whatever decision we make. So I would be more comfortable. And I must admit my ignorance when it comes to the hemp oil industry and all of that. That may be some reading material or something I need to do
Yeah, you
on
need
my
to research
leisure.
that. There's a lot
Research
out there.
that because
Commissioner
I have no idea about that. My focus has been on workforce housing. So,
Right.
and what we committed to
Right.
at the discovery of those 34 acres. And so I'm standing on that commitment that not only I made, but the 5 persons, the other 4 persons that sat along with me, we made that commitment to go to the state, to have that land that was dedicated for municipal use to now be dedicated for housing. Now, things are becoming clearer now from the from the last commission meeting, why possibly it was housing/economic development.
and no, that brings
But the
me to this
resolution only
question.
said housing,
Right, the
right?
resolution only said
Well, I
housing,
mean, the
$2,019.
bi-week,
Okay.
a report, or
That brings-
some conversation that was had. Not saying the resolution, I'm sorry for misspeaking, but that's why the conversation was brought up about housing/economic development. Things are becoming a little clearer now.
That brings me to my next question. What's the status of that? Because I support that wholeheartedly with Commissioner Everett, if that's what, I stand on it as well with the workforce housing in the 34 acres. And what's the status of you all getting back with this particular group, or am I asking the right question? Because I'm looking, I hear
Yeah.
crickets right
I
now.
think it's really still depending on the
I got
state.
scared almost. I'm scared. Oh, that's the wrong question.
Of the-
Okay, hold on. Wait, I was hearing crickets a little bit. It kind of scared me. I'm
To
like, am
answer
I
a question,
asking the
we're,
right
as I said before, the
I'm
process of
just
the
trying to
appraisal
ask a
moving
question
forward.
for Mr.
Yeah.
Martin, before this group and for the workforce housing. I don't want to get all this mixed up with the hemp. However, I feel that we can still benefit from this company because it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And trust me, there are many jobs. I've gone to one of those workshops about 3 years ago. A lot of information, and it was very early in the growing of it, and it is I feel it is very, very beneficial when it comes down to jobs. And I meant good jobs.
From
very
what I
good
can
jobs.
tell from that workshop, or whatever you call it, it looks like it's gonna move really quickly.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's not something that's gonna be a year off. This is something that's
almost
gonna
there.
happen fast.
But I don't want to get that twisted with the
Right.
issue with the workforce housing. I totally agree with Commissioner Everett. That is what we all agreed on, and I wish we can go back. We need to go back and get an update with Mr. Morrison and see in the group and see what's what and see where we're going with that now.
The basic update is, it's still pending on the state approval
Okay.
of that
Okay.
agreement we sent up there, so we're waiting on that to occur.
Right. Now, I don't want to hold this conversation up. Let's do this. Let's work on the letter. I'll give it to the city attorney, make sure that language is in the right position. You already have agreed to a town hall meeting on July 15th. why don't you use that date as what Commissioner Bowling was recommending for a community discussion on this? I think that's an opportune date to do that. And we can, you know, maybe bring in some additional folks to have a conversation about it, because I'm not an expert on it at all. So, and get community, you know, feedback on this particular issue. I think you should probably just go ahead and utilize that July 15th date for that. Then you don't have to search for another date to have this discussion, because this is important. It's probably one of the most important conversations you'll have in this city to date on 34 acres and the direction we need to go. That's my recommendation.
Okay. I would recommend at that particular meeting that we also invite the state that can give us some update possibly of the direction the legislator may be steered towards or not. So, at a minimum, we can include it if nothing else, but
You
it's
might,
up to
you
the
might
commission.
talk to Representative Polsky, because she was at a meeting last night I was at, and she said that she was very well versed on that, and that she had a lot of information, so we might invite her to come.
In addition to that, maybe we can have an update of what's the state position as far as deeding the land over to the city, what's the process or time frame for that possibly.
Hopefully by then, we'll
occur.
be wrapping up the appraisal by that date, because that's about 2 weeks out. So hopefully the appraisal will be down here, and we'll be wrapping that up as well. So we'll have that into the package. But again, July 15th just popped in my mind as an opportune date to put this, you know, to the community to have a conversation and get some feedback. I think it's the right venue to do that.
Okay, we're gonna move on. City Attorney, I don't know if you completed with your report, but at this time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Is that a directive for the city manager for the letter? Correct.
Miss, I was gonna do a form of motion, but, okay, all right.
What,
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to offer a motion authorizing city staff to form a letter of interest stating Pahokee's interest in hemp.
I second.
it has been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly second by Commissioner Hill that we authorize our city staff to direct them to conduct a letter to support him. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowling,
Yes.
Commissioner Everett, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bowden.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioner. The motion passed by a unanimous vote. Now we'll move to old business. We already discussed the marina lease update. I don't think there's any addition to that. We'll move now to new business. We don't have any new business on the agenda. Next will be our citizen comments and general concerns. Madam Clerk, at this time, do we have any citizen comment cards completed?
Yes, sir, I have one comment from Bobby Colvin.
One second, things are turning around on me here. Bobby Colvin, 3096 Bacon Point Road. I wanted to address one of the requirements in our meetings that was changed a number of months ago. Just a second. And it has to do with the comment cards that we fill out. Sometimes there are things that happen in our meeting, and we don't really have a way of speaking to those things when we're in the meeting that we really want to comment on, but having the requirement that all of the cards have to be in by 6:45, I feel like it cuts down on citizen involvement in the city. I've thought of a way around it, and that would be if everybody that thought they might want to comment would go ahead and fill out a card. And that way we could waste a lot of paper and time going through the different ones where we would say, well, never mind, I don't want to comment. I just think it would be good to, if there's something that you urgently feel like you need to say in the meeting, to be able to fill out the card. And I know there have been times where people lined up, but those times were exceptional. They're not a main thing. And I had another thing also. In government, a system of checks and balances is so necessary. And in national, state, city government, sometimes those lines get blurry. And I feel like the commission, the legal counsel, the staff, they owe it to each other. You owe it to each other to ask questions, to seek answers when there are things that you have question about. And particularly in terms of financial situations. I know we've had a discussion in this place for years about financial reports being given, detailed financial reports. It's very, very easy when answers aren't given to become suspicious. And if you become suspicious, then you can get to the point where you want to accuse. All of that can be avoided by having those things in detail. And one thing I noticed was not on the agenda tonight. I don't know the legal term for it, but in the last meeting, it was requested that I guess the equivalent of an IG audit would take place. And when it was requested, it got a motion. It was motioned. It was seconded. But then the attorney said that, I don't know exactly what she said, but anyway, she talked the mayor into dropping his second. But it was supposed to be brought up tonight, and I was very disappointed when I didn't see that as part of the agenda tonight, because it was to be brought up. And I guess maybe there were reasons, but as a citizen of this city, I have questions. And I really would love to see an outside agency come in, the IG's office or whoever does that, and do an audit on this city, because I am suspicious. I will accuse no one, but I am suspicious. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Very good, Bobby. Very good.
City Clerk, do we have any additional comments card completed?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll just direct this comment to the city attorney. I know you say that you would prepare a report on our current procurement process. Would that be read at the next meeting, or you're?
Well, Mayor, I did actually request all of the procurement documents that the city had, and had some questions. I started with some of the questions today with the manager. We didn't get through all of them. And I'd like to have additional time to meet with the manager, so that I'm not giving you information that's not vetted fully through through answers that he may have to some questions that I have. And so once that's done, I'm happy to make some recommendations and bring them back to you at the next meeting even. But I do, I have reviewed it. We did request everything, and we have everything that is available. I not only asked the manager, but I also asked the city clerk, and the city clerk went back through and it made sure that she had everything from her records related to procurement or purchasing or anything having to do with purchasing. So, so it wasn't forgotten, and it's not being ignored. We just need to continue our conversation.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll move to the correspondence, comments, and concern of the city commissioners. And we will start with Commissioner Hill.
Y'all just doing that because I just got back. First of all, I want to apologize for my absence. Some things that have to be taken care of, but I don't know. I just heard Mr. Oh my God, Colvin, and I have a couple of questions. So I'm kind of lost. So he's saying that he's asking for an audit from an outside source, and we're saying no.
You want me to answer?
Yes.
No, it would be up to the commission to say no. What I suggested at the last meeting, instead of having more bad publicity for the city, allow me to go through your codes and do what the Inspector General would do, and then report back to you all. So it's not something that's public or the Inspector General needs to get involved in. It's something that I do. This is what I do for a living. And so I'm happy to do that rather than you all, calling the state and or the county, and having the county come in and, go through it, get the same information that I would be able to get. But that is totally up to you all. That is a decision that the commission makes. So if there are 3 people on the dais tonight that wanted the Inspector General to do it, that would be a decision that you all make. It's not my decision. I just thought that if I could.
I just think if the citizens are, interested, am I saying something? Because it look like everybody looking at me. I mean, if the citizens are interested, in why not? What
That's
would be
your
the problem?
decision. That's not mine.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
That's your decision.
So,
I think, Commissioner, when I made that motion, my thought was that if they came in and they found nothing, then we could go back to the public and say, look, there's nothing. Y'all need to just calm down here.
right.
And if there is something, it would be like the last one where they gave you some recommendations and we can make the changes and move forward. But that was the reason I made that motion.
But is it anything wrong with that? Is it a problem? Because I mean, if the citizens are requesting it.
It's not an issue of the
something-
citizens requesting it. It was a commissioner stating that she thought that was something she wanted to see. And my advice was at the time, and still is if you could allow me to, pull the same purchasing policies. I'm a lawyer. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I know how to review policies and procedures. And I would pull the policies, I would review it, and give you some recommendations that might be some of the same recommendations, if any, that the state would give or the county would give. And so if you would, so that was the only thing. But this is purely a decision. It's not me going back and forth with you.
Okay.
It's you all making the decision to do whatever you think is in the best interest of the city.
Because the way it sounds, I just think that, and I think that even with the commission, I think it's just something that all of us need to kind of look into, because it's been a topic, a subject for the longest, and just clear the air up, so that, if there's nothing wrong, just go ahead and put it out there.
Then
Exactly.
I recommend to let the city attorney finish her review. I mean, as she said before, we've had enough, highlight stories in this city. There's nothing wrong with our procurement policy. I'm pretty confident in that. But at the same time, you have a capable, independent person that's looking at our procurement process. We need to allow that to continue.
And I would say this too, to bring an issue before the Inspector General, you need some type of more proof that there are some irregularities versus a suspicion that these things are occurring. And I would suggest use this as analysis. We all do our annual taxes each year. Who want to have your taxes automatically audited because your neighbor suspects something wrong without any proof? So those type of things, unless there are some grounds for that, and they're going to ask, you know, why are we requesting this? And you got to outline some stuff for them for them to move forward on something like this. So if the attorney, and I did second that motion, but when she made it, and I just want to clear her language, I don't think she convinced me. She didn't request that I withdraw the second. After listening to her, I, on my own, decided to withdraw the second to allow her the opportunity to review the procurement procedures and see if there's anything that we need that would show a red flag that we need to move this to a higher audit type of review. And that
So
was my
even if-
rationale.
So even if we're not, even if it's not with the IG, so can we get just an outside person to do it? Just to keep down some of the confusion, because that's all they're talking about.
Commissioner,
If something is wrong.
you already
Like
have
the
an outside
IG does
audit.
it
I
for
have no
free.
special relationship with Mr. Williamson that my judgment would be clouded in any way. But if you all chose to do that, I would not be
No, I'm
offended.
saying, listen, I'm just saying this because I think it would, I think it would take away some of the gossiping if we were to get just an outside person to do it, no one that's on either side, just let them do it, let them do their job, and bring the report back. I meant, am I saying something wrong?
Yeah, you're saying something
So-
wrong, because when you do that, it's called paying somebody. And what
But
we
that's
don't want
the
to
thing,
do
the
is.
IG
No,
would
I'm
do it
not
for
paying,
free.
I'm not trying to
What you
pay
don't,
anybody.
that's what you're end up doing.
Let's not
You're
interfere
paying
with
someone.
folks'
So
comments.
what I'm saying is, for one, we've already got a directive on this. Allow the city attorney to finish the directive. Going to find someone outside to read some procurement documents when you have a qualified city attorney that can read those documents and come back and say, hey, we need to change language here or change language there in our procurement policy or practices. You know, let's go with what was already provided as a directive in the last commission meeting. And if there's anything that needs to be changed, I think we have a competent attorney that's done this for 30 years that'll provide that.
I have nothing against our city attorney, no doubt whether or not she's competent or not. Only thing I'm saying, just for the public, just for the citizens, just to bring down some of the hype and some of the questions, I feel as though there's nothing wrong with us going out, getting an outside person to go and do this information and bring it back so that we can get a lot of these people just put it out there. It's just transparent a little and let them see there's nothing going on and move forward.
Let me
It
help.
doesn't have to be IG, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be.
IG does it for free.
Can I say something,
Getting it
man?
done for free now.
Come
Yes.
on, guys. Come on. We have an outside auditor already that's already on payroll. Okay, listen. Jesus Christ. Listen,
Audience,
listen.
we're not,
But listen,
ma'am,
what are we looking for? Okay, we have, I really don't understand what we're looking for. We up here talking about a IG to come in and, Mr. Corbett, I understand your question of getting the reports. But you know, you could walk also right inside City Hall and get those same reports that you're looking for instead of waiting here. Oh God, please, Mr. McKinsky, please. You can, Mr. Coleman, you could get those reports and right from the city financial person. Also, I think at the last commission meeting, the reason why it was two though, because I know we had two commissioners out when we were saying why was it, and you asked why was it changed from that, because that was the majority at the time, because there was the majority here on the dais. But as far as the outside, what are we looking for? What are we looking for? We for years, this city been going on, which should have been audited, it wasn't audited. So what are we looking for now?
And why
What-
not?
What is so wrong?
But why not?
Okay.
Let-
Why not? What's the problem?
Let me interject. We have parliamentary procedures. We don't have a motion on the floor. We don't have a second. This is not an agenda item. Until we receive a motion and a second, this conversation need to end. Now, if you want to put it on the agenda for next meeting, or someone want to make a motion, we can move forward. That's the reason you have a motion and a second.
Okay, I make a motion that we ask the IG if they will come in and do this for free, and then we don't have to worry about it. After that, it's either yes or no, and it's done.
I second.
Okay, there's been a motion by Commissioner Boland and properly second by Commissioner Hill to have the IG do an independent audit of our procedures. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for?
Yes, I have a question. When the IG came in and the report surfaced about a month ago, did the IG or did the IG not request documents concerning our procurement? That's my first question. My second question, is it a review of the procurement procedure, or is the concern of the citizens for an audit? Because if the IG comes in and just look at our procurement procedures, that's just process on paper. But if we're looking at auditing and looking at our financial records, I'm wondering what are we, because you're talking about procurement procedure, and would the IG look into doing auditing services in terms of how I mean, I'm at the point like now, and I'm like the city attorney, if that's the pleasure of the citizens, we work for them, do it. And if nothing wrong, then there's nothing wrong.
We can stop all the talking.
But at the same
He was
time,
just saying that
Commissioner,
she said she's doing the same
let her do it,
work
I think we should let her do her
as the
job
auditor.
at the end of the day.
But
In other words,
obviously,
you don't want
We-
the attorney to do it.
no.
Please,
that's not what I'm saying.
Commissioners, identify that you have a question to the chair and we'll be acknowledged. 'Cause
First
this-
of all, okay, I'm sorry, Mayor, but first of all, let me say this. I have no concern or in reference to our city attorney not being competent about doing these matters, but it's so obvious. Come on, commissioners. See, this is the stuff we gotta face. It's so obvious that a lot of the citizens have some issues, and I think in order to address those issues, we need to go ahead, let whomever do, IG or whoever it may be, clear this up, and let's get it out there, and so we can stop some of the gossiping or whatever it is, whatever it may be. This is just transparency. My thing is, why not? What's wrong with that? Because if it was anything else, and it was on the other, anything was on the other side, we would want this, so why not? I don't think
Commissioner,
there's
you said you
anything
agreed
wrong
to
with
but
it.
she was saying she's doing the same work.
We,
Is what I'm
obviously,
saying.
they don't, obviously, we don't want that. We don't want anybody up here. We want to get someone that's not from, that's not, what word am I trying to use? That's not, and allow them to do it, and let's move forward. I mean, I just think it's just more than fair.
Well, when you think about that, Commissioner Hill, and we're
Excuse
sitting
me,
here
but
and we're trying.
discussion is supposed to be for the commission
No,
only?
no, I can talk as well.
No, I don't think so. I
Yes.
think commission is the only people who are allowed to
At
discuss.
this time,
But-
it's a commission,
Okay.
city manager.
So, if I could?
Yes.
I agree with Commissioner Hill, and I understand the concerns of Commissioner Mervin, or Vice Mayor Mervin, and Commissioner Everett. But at the same time, at the end of the day, if there's nothing wrong, then we have the right then to go back, like I said, and say, hey, they came in, they
I'll
looked
be
at
glad to
everything,
see
blah,
that
blah,
it's
blah,
nothing
it's
wrong.
good,
Now
go
they
away,
just be
shut up.
quiet.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'm very well certified to offer my concerns. My only question, which was not answered, is will the IG provide auditing services, or would they just look at the procurement procedure?
Yeah, this motion would have them look at the procurement procedure, and to answer your additional question, when they did their first investigation that I actually initiated, they also looked at the procurement process during that time. Again, we're asking the IG to do something that there's no evidence of any wrongdoing or irregularities. And also you have a city attorney who's knowledgeable to give us that information. Let's look at that first. You're bringing, it's our choice, but we're bringing bad press on ourselves for no other reason other than we have suspicious or concerned citizen who's concerned about the procedure. And they haven't addressed one issue, and the most important issue is, what is the red flag in our procurement process? And really, procurement really means your contract agreement with a vendor, basically, how that process is. Are we doing it in a fair and equitable manner? Are we awarding contract to qualified individual? What is our process for doing that? Our city attorney can give us that information. So to bring negative press to a community that's unwarranted is my concern.
Well, let me say this, Mr. Mayor, because I don't want to be accused of being an apologist for anyone on this dais. Let me say this. I really don't agree with inviting bad press to the city, but my other point is this. If there is above board dealings in our city, then it should not be a fight or resistance. If that's what they want,
Give it to them.
I mean, that's what they're requesting. They elected us up here, and that's what they really want. Then do it.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bowling,
Yes.
Can we make the,
What's the motion?
The motion is to have the IG review our procurement process. The motion was made by Commissioner Boland and second by Commissioner Hill.
Can I make a comment? Do you think it would be better if I changed it to procurement procedure and audit, and then that way, whatever it is, it covers everything? And if he can't do it, he can't do it. He'll tell us, right?
Again, we need to outline the reason behind. You do, when you give this information to the Attorney General, you have to outline the reason behind your request. So I'm just having them keep that in mind. This is not a conversation between the audience and myself. I'm just saying, I'm not talking to you specifically. You're out of order, ma'am. Thank you.
So,
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the floor to have the Attorney General do a review of our procurement process. If you want to amend your motion,
I'll amend it
I
so it
think
includes
that-
an audit, and then that way we're done and
Let me-
everything is good.
I think that and you may have to correct me on this, does the second have to be withdrawn at this time, or can the commissioner who made the motion amend it with the second?
If she agrees, you don't have to go through to make it a substitute motion if the commissioner making the second agrees.
No, I
So-
agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll include that
Just
in
include,
the voting.
All right.
And you probably want to be clear about what you mean by audit, because what I think they're going to probably think it means is going back through procurement, I don't know, that you've had maybe for some period of time or something. I don't know, audit is different from obviously to review a process. It's completely different. So if you include that, you're really, being expansive in a way that may not be what you wanted. So I just throw it out there just before you vote so you can consider it.
I think I'm fine with that.
I'm
The way it
fine
reads.
with clearing up the air. I'm fine
Me
with
too.
that. Let's clear it up. That's all I'm saying, guys. Just
Okay.
clear it up.
All right, I think we have a proper motion and a second to have the IG look at our procurement process and also conduct an audit. Since the motion was amended, I'll call for questions at this time. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Walden,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes?
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab.
No. Okay, motion passed by majority, 3-2 vote.
Mayor, subsequently, what I was trying to provide the commission less than a year ago.
We're gonna move on, Commissioner.
I
We're
know.
gonna move on.
Well, I was going to give you the information.
We need to move on. We're still at the comments, concerns of the city commission. Commissioner Hill, are you,
That's it for me.
Thank you.
I think I'm clear now. Some cleared up some stuff. So. And good night, guys. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes, sir. I was just wondering, are we going to set a date for the budget workshop?
They're already set. One's the first one is July 22nd. I can't remember the one for August as of yet.
July
The first
22nd,
one's-
what time?
Typically, they're at about 6 o'clock. It's on a Monday.
6. All right. And have we started to advertise for the city attorney?
Yes.
Okay, and are we advertising someplace other than the Palm Beach Post?
It goes out in the Hispanic newspaper. Some of those venues that you wanted, they don't accept proposals or RLIs or RFPs. You can put out a job announcement, but they don't take documents or proposals. Florida Legal Cities doesn't do it. Palm Beach Legal Cities doesn't do it. But we can advertise it as a regular job, but not as a proposal on job sites. They don't take those documents and such. And we asked them. We actually asked, Palm Beach Legal Cities, can we do it? They said no. They don't take documents like that. But we can put it out more. And subsequently, we've advertised it already. I'll wait 30 days. We're going to advertise it again. And I'll wait another probably 30 days and advertise it one more time. Because we have 90 days for a response. So
Okay, can we put it on LinkedIn or something like that?
Yes, ma'am. We can put it on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay.
And Strategic Government Resources, which is a major government resource for jobs.
Okay,
We're going to put it on there for about a month, for 30 days. It's about $49.95 for that. $49.95.
thank you. And then I just have a comment. I know that when I talked about it after I first got elected, but I was down there again, and those sidewalks down there on Ricky Jackson Boulevard, Palm, Coconut, down in there, do we own those sidewalks?
On Ricky Jackson Boulevard?
Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Those things are atrocious. I mean, they're probably the worst in the city. Can we get somebody down there to do some repairs on them?
That's the next step in surtax projects is MLK and sidewalks, as I mentioned previously. So what we're doing is we're actually going through the city, identifying the areas where the sidewalks need to be repaired, and then that'll be on the list for this fall for repairs for surtax dollars.
So you're saying like September, October?
Probably October, more
Thank
likely.
you. Okay,
You gotta let the fund build up a little bit.
okay. Thank you. I think that's good.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. I was at this meeting last night, and Representative Tina Polsky sent us a letter, and I'm sure probably all of y'all got it, but it does reference what's going on at the Pahokee Senior High School, and she's asking Mr. Fenoy to have immediate attention by the district as far as the issues in the school with air conditioning, mold, roof leaks, rusty doors, railings, damaged windows. And she made a great point that says it's much easier to repair it when the kids aren't there. So she's asking that he'll go ahead and get that done quick
Oh,
before
they're
the new
doing it now.
school year.
They're
on it
actually
now?
doing a lot of
Okay,
remodeling now.
excellent,
I've walked
excellent.
over there. A lot of remodeling going on.
Thank you, Commissioner. Before I move on, I just want to remind the City Commission that the Pahokee Housing Authority have a vacancy on their board that we need to make an appointment. So we're asking the clerk to make sure that that is included on our application so we can make some type of recommendation, hopefully by next City Commission meeting. In addition to that, they have requested that before we actually appoint someone as a courtesy, could we kind of let them know who we are considering so that there's no conflict of interest? They can kind of tell us, well, you know, this individual, this is a conflict and this is the reason why, before we actually make the appointment. So that's just for consideration. Now we'll move to Commissioner Everett, comments and concerns.
Just want to say good night. And Benjamin, can you stand, son? Just want to welcome my son to the community.
He don't look like them.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Trust me, I know he's mine.
Okay.
I just want to squash any
Look
rumors.
like you.
Vice Mayor Everett, that's it for your comments, Commissioner Everett. Thank you, sir.
I just have an announcement that, it said join us for our very first business mixer, which is Friday, June 28, 2019. I think they put our flyers on the back. It's this Friday from 6:30 to 10. And it's, what they're doing is just, trying to get all the business publicity out in the community. So they're doing like 2 businesses a month. So asking the community to come out. They'll have an evening filled with sharing explosive business growth ideas, while relaxing to the sounds of smooth jazz, R&B soul, and classic club music. It'll be hosted at our very own Town Center Cafe here in the city of Pahokee. The refreshment will be served. They will have alcoholic beverages, but you will have to pay for those on your own. Casual, relaxed attire preferred. They do have flyers on the back table. And good night.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
Get out of here.